Claire, I think that there is a general consensus about activism and transgenderism. Transgenders are there is a gap in the understanding of the people. People are discriminating the transgender based on their what they have. The, they, they don't have the capability to explain themselves in an ordered fashion to everyone. Hence, we need a media to accelerate the change of people to understand the issue transgender. Transgender means that people live in a wrong body, and the transaction to my problem is that I thought I am not smart, and I am quite smart. And when we consider this, that I lived with the wrong intelligence, then it's a real problem to have this kind of problem, because when you are smart and you don't think you are intelligent, there is a gap in your understanding, and you have to accelerate the change in your mind to become who you are and to identify your intelligence. You can make an acuteness, but you won't believe the acuteness what you do then. The problem is more fundamental, and you need a transition of who you are, and it's a long process that needs an experimental approach to, because it's a raw problem and it's a raw disease, and it needs a fundamentally new solution to the problem. Because when you consider that the current medical treatments like trauma therapy or psychotherapy, they won't work while you need stressors, or you have to apply finance on psychology, hence you create a new product that's fundamentally different from the current situation. And I had luck with my product, because there are also other applications that are good, and psychotherapy might have worked out, but then it's a long process and it takes years, and transgenderism is a similar problem, hence you can't cure transgenderism with psychotherapy, why you need a fundamentally new therapy that creates a new perception of who you are and who you can become. And what is your intelligence is the question of acuteness, but when you can make an acuteness because your concentration doesn't work and you have other problems, such as you won't believe that you're intelligent based on an IQ test, then you have to figure out who you can become and how intelligent you are based on your performance. But what if nobody evaluates your performance? You have to create more performance, and you have to work on your problem. You have to estimate IQs. You have to do psychotherapy. You have to do trauma therapy. You have to do ADHD therapy, and it's a long process. It took me 5 years or 4 years now to make a transition from who I was and to become who I am. And we had the fundamental nuance. From a fundamental nuance point of view, we had the symmetries that we are equal in substance, in some fundamental metrics, and I reacted to you as a twin flame, and this is probably the best therapy that was there for me, because I could cure my trauma and I could believe in my intelligence. Otherwise, this was probably the only way how to handle the problem that I have had was through a twin flame, and there was no other option than the twin flame, and this is how we handle the problem and how I made progress is through a twin flame. Why you probably saved my life this way because I had no other option than suicide because there was no life for me, and my perception of my reality I lived in was quite disturbing and created more and more problems of my own identity and of who I can become. And it was more than a trauma, it's a rare situation where somebody who's highly gifted and has a trauma and ADHD, and my trauma was quite problematic because I didn't learn for several years. I haven't learned, I had problems identifying my capabilities, and we had to solve it with finance and with stressors. And thanks God, Vinod Koshla realized my potential as an entrepreneur, and he gave me the chance to recover and to therapy myself. Otherwise, I would end up in a suicide. And this is how I handle the problem. And it's also because I'm highly gifted that I could cure myself. And this was the problem, and it was the solution at the same time with Twin Flame. Highly gifted problem and solution, and it created the opportunity that I found my Twin Flame, and that this is the solution for my trauma and by finding my identity. And now we are here, and we make progress, and I'm probably almost ready to learn mathematics and become my true authentic self. And